Later accounts estimated it to be nearly 16 feet high at its crest, though to those standing on the shore, it felt far greater. Father Larondo, clutching the monstrance with steady resolve, began to lead the procession across the muddy expanse. Behind him followed hundreds of men, women and children who had left their homes and their belongings to follow their priest. They walked with focused determination, their eyes fixed not on the wave, but on the figure carrying the sacred vessel before them. Father Morno walked at his side, his face marked by intense concentration. The ground beneath their feet was slick with the silt of the ocean floor, scattered with debris from the earthquake. Every few steps, the earth trembled again as secondary shocks rippled through the ground. But the procession did not falter. They were moving toward the center of the unfolding disaster. As they reached the point where the beach met the newly exposed seabed, the wave was close enough that they could see the crests of foam breaking at its top. It was moving with tremendous speed, meaning impact seemed only moments away. The mass of the water pushed air ahead of it, creating a pressure that made it difficult to breathe. This was a moment of extreme vulnerability. There was no wall, no levee, and no natural barrier between the people of Tumaco and the advancing surge. Father Larondo stopped. He stood on the wet sand, the first trickles of the returning tide swirling around his boots. He looked up at the wall of water. In that moment, he stood as a priest facing the overwhelming force of nature. He did not look at the wave with panic. He looked at it with a calm conviction rooted in his faith. He raised the monstrance high into the air. The gold of the vessel caught the dim light of the sun, reflecting against the dark sea. The people behind him fell to their knees, lowering their faces to the sand or lifting their eyes upward in prayer. The sound of the water was so loud it overwhelmed every other noise around them. Then Father Larondo did something that, to those watching, seemed to defy human logic. He began to speak toward the ocean. He did not shout. He did not plead. He spoke with conviction. Over the roar of the approaching wave, he made the sign of the cross with the monstrance, tracing the sacred shape toward the towering water. His words were lost to the wind, but his intent was visible in every line of his body. In faith, he invoked the name of the one who had walked on the waves of Galilee, the one who had told the storm to be still. The wave was now so close that the spray drenched his vestments. The shadow of the water fell over the crowd, dimming the light around them. The crest began to curl, white foam gathering as it prepared to crash forward with immense force. It was a moment that felt like the point of no return. And then, according to those present, something happened that they would never forget. Witnesses later described it as if the water had struck an unseen barrier. The crest of the wave, which had been leaning forward with tremendous momentum, seemed to shudder. The forward motion did not simply slow. It appeared to halt. The water churned in place, surging and folding back upon itself, unable to move beyond the point where the priest stood. The people on the ground felt the spray and the wind, but they did not feel the impact. They looked up and saw a towering wall of water standing only yards away, rising above their heads.